The peace paradox. Let's talk about peace. Let's talk about inner peace. Let's talk about inner calm. So many people that I've met over the years, I've been doing this teaching thing for about 20 years now, I think. So many people that I meet, spiritual seekers, people who go to spiritual events, read spiritual books, meditation classes, yoga classes, are seeking this thing called inner peace, inner stillness, inner calm. Um, so one thing I want to say to all of you, and I wish I wish someone had told me this about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Maybe they did, but I couldn't hear it back then. It's taken me a long time to really, really understand this. And if you can really get this, if you can really get what I'm about to tell you, and maybe you already know it, and maybe deep down you already know it, but it can really bring so much relief, put it that way, end the struggle, and so much of the struggle within. So the problem with this idea of inner peace, let me say it this way: the moment that we start seeking inner peace, the moment we start seeking inner calm, inner stillness, the moment we make that into a goal, the moment we make it into a goal, we are creating unnecessary suffering for ourselves. So many people go into meditation. This is such a misunderstanding. This is kind of what I really want to say to people. I want to say to you. So many of us go into meditation because we want to reach this state of peace, of calm, and then we project out in the world these spiritual teachers, gurus, spiritual beings who we imagine are in this state of pure inner peace, this inner calm. I know I used to, when I was a spiritual seeker, I used to, all these spiritual books, spiritual teachers I used to read, I used to imagine that these gurus they always felt calm, they never felt angry, they never felt sad, they never got frustrated, they never doubted, they never had fantasies, they never had painful desires, yearnings. That's what I imagined peace was. The problem is that the moment we make peace into a goal, the moment we start chasing it, the moment we start seeking it, what we're really doing is saying, I don't want to be here in this present moment. I don't want to be here in this present moment with this lack of peace. I want to be in this other state called peace. I don't want to be here in this present moment with this anxiety I'm feeling, with this fear I'm feeling, with this grief in my belly, with this tension, with this frustration. I don't want this. That's really what we're doing. I don't want this lack of peace. I want to be in this other state. We end up splitting ourselves in two. I don't want to have my present experience. I want to be this other thing. I want to be in this other state, this calm, this stillness, presence. We even make presence into a goal. And actually, once you really start to understand this, you start to realize how violent we become to ourselves. Is the origin of all violence. It begins within us. Because I really, this is how I used to meditate like 20, 25 years ago. I really want to be at peace. I don't want to be in the state I'm in. I don't want this tension in my belly. I don't want this anxiety. I don't want this sorrow. I rejected my present experience. I wanted to be like those other beings out there, the ones who were at peace. So think about this. In the name of peace, in the name of inner peace, we go to war with everything inside of us that doesn't fit that image. In the name of inner peace, in the name of inner calm, I will go to war with the anger inside me or the grief inside me. All of these beautiful manifestations of life. I go to war with my very humanness because I want to be this thing called a peaceful person, a calm person, a perfectly calm being. By the way, they really don't exist. They really don't. So here's the paradox. This is why I called this session the peace paradox, because the paradox is, because someone listening to what I'm saying might say, oh, well, Jeff, then it sounds like you'll never be at peace, right? If you stop chasing peace, if you stop seeking it, if you stop trying to get there, if you stop making it into a destination, then you're just going to be left with your pain. But this is why the mind really doesn't understand. That's why I call it a paradox. It really doesn't understand this transformation, because the mind always thinks in terms of opposites. How do I get from here to there? Here's the paradox. Here's the paradox. And this is what I believe true meditation is. In true meditation, we are not chasing any particular state. We're not chasing peace. We're not trying to be calm. We're not trying to be peaceful. We're not trying to reach bliss. In true meditation, we are radically opening up our being to all of life. We are remembering, rediscovering our capacity for life. In other words, there is so much room in you. This is what I mean when I talk about presence. This is what I mean by presence. Presence means your capacity for life, your ability to hold all of life within yourself, the joy as much as the sorrow. You have the capacity for all of that. The clarity can live in you, but doubt can also live in you. You have so much capacity, so much space. What we're really talking about is how much space there is in you, how much space there is in your heart, in your being. You are like, and I'm sure many of you have heard this metaphor before, but it's such a wonderful metaphor. Your being, your presence, who you really are, is like a vast ocean. And all the thoughts, sensations, feelings, urges, impulses, desires that are constantly moving through you, moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day. These are all the waves of experience, thoughts coming and going, sensations in your body coming and going, feelings. So many feelings coming and going through you all day, every day. From the most profound ecstatic joy can pass through you to the deepest, most intense grief can pass through you, the most incredible expansive clarity and the most profound doubt. All of these waves are part of the ocean. This is the deeper meaning of non-duality. I don't use that word a lot because it's just so misunderstood by people. People think that non-duality is some special state you can attain, or some special understanding, special. The ego wants to be special. There's nothing special about it. It infuses our ordinary experience. So true peace, this is the great paradox, right? True peace is found in the ocean itself, not in any of the waves. Peace is not a passing state. Peace means in any moment of your life, remembering that you are the ocean, and that every wave, the joy, the grief, the anger, anxiety, boredom, bliss, the most profound shame, all of these waves are welcome within you. None of them are mistakes. So I want you to really try and get this. If you can really try and get this, it will definitely change your meditation practice, your spiritual practice. It may even change your life. True peace has nothing to do, zero, I mean nothing to do with getting rid of any of these waves, thoughts, sensations, feelings, even the most intense, painful feelings. True peace has nothing to do with getting rid of feelings, getting rid of grief, getting rid of doubt. Nothing to do with eradicating these parts of you, nothing to do with killing these parts of you. That's what I think a lot of spiritual seekers are looking for, this false state of peace, which what they mean by that is what they really mean when they say that is like, I want to kill parts of myself. I want to kill my anger. I want to kill my doubt. I want to kill my anxiety. There's the violence. In the name of peace, in the name of inner peace, we go to war with those waves. Like this wave shouldn't be here. It's like spiritual whack-a-mole. You know that in some fun fairs, that fairground game where you have like a hammer and the little plastic moles pop up, and as they pop up, you have to go whack, whack, whack. A lot of people believe that that's what meditation is all about. I need to close my eyes and go into meditation, and if a thought arises, I need to whack it. And if a feeling arises, I've got to whack it, especially if it's a negative feeling. Maybe if joy arises, I won't whack that. I won't hit that. I won't try and eradicate that. But definitely if sorrow arises, whack. If fear arises, whack. Anxiety, whack. Doubt, whack. It's violent and it's exhausting, and it stems from a misunderstanding of who we really are, a misunderstanding of our nature, a misunderstanding of non-duality. I need to whack duality, bad duality, bad duality. I mean, I can laugh about it now, but I was really, as I've written about for many years, I was really stuck in this years ago. I was very, very violent with myself. I was at war with my thoughts, trying to get rid of them, trying to get rid of negative thoughts, trying to get rid of feelings, trying to get rid of negative feelings, or feelings that I believed were negative or I had been told were negative. Parts of me that I was afraid of, basically. We're taught to fear ourselves. This is one way of talking about trauma, isn't it? We're taught to fear our inner experience. We're taught to fear thoughts. We're taught to fear feelings. We're taught to fear sensations in the body. So then we become spiritual seekers. We become meditators, and it's like the whack-a-mole begins. And we really, truly believe that that's going to lead us towards inner peace. It doesn't. It just leads us towards more suffering, as I said before, more exhaustion. And we end up splitting ourselves in two. We actually get further and further away from our authentic selves. Until one day, and I've had so many conversations over the years with spiritual seekers who have reached this point, we just reach this point of like exhaustion. We get so tired of the inner war, fighting our shadows, basically, running away from our shadows, trying to obliterate these parts of ourselves that are so natural. We've been brainwashed to think that some parts of us are unspiritual. These thoughts are unspiritual, or this feeling is unspiritual. How can I get rid of this feeling and be at peace? Here's the paradox. True peace has nothing to do with getting rid of. True peace is remembering that you are the ocean. I am the ocean, and there is so much room in what I am for this wave. There is so much room for this thought. There is so much room for this grief. There is so much room for this lack of peace. That is the ultimate paradox. In true peace, in the ocean of true peace, which is what you really are. We're talking about your nature. We're not talking about a special state you can attain. In the ocean of true peace, there is so much room. There's even room for your restlessness, for your boredom, for your lack of peace. This is what we're really talking about, is like a deep self-love. Not just loving the pretty, shiny, nice bits of yourself, but loving the mess, as I call it, the mud, the gunk, the stuff that you've been taught by your parents, by your teachers, even by your spiritual teachers. Some spiritual teachers, bless them, are still teaching this stuff, that somehow sadness is bad, or anger is bad, or doubts are bad, or if you were enlightened, you would never feel blah, blah. I mean, that's all coming from fear. It's all an expression of fear and misunderstanding. Because the ocean If you really think about it, the ocean of who you are, just like the actual ocean, it doesn't reject any of its waves. The ocean, how could the ocean reject any of its waves or say, or try and get rid of any of its waves? It doesn't make sense. The ocean is all of its waves. The ocean expresses itself as all of these waves, as the most profound joy and the deepest grief. So what I'm really saying is even your grief, even your profound doubt, even in this moment, if you're feeling restlessness, if you're feeling bored, if you're feeling anxious, if there's a part of you right now that doesn't feel at peace, what you may not understand is that that part of you is your doorway, is your invitation to awakening. It's not a block. It's not a mistake. So many spiritual teachers and students that I meet and I've met over the years somehow think that if you're not at peace, there's something wrong with you. Or if you're not at peace, then as if being at peace was the goal, as if being calm was the goal, as if there was any goal. It's crazy when you think about it. And so what you get is a lot of, how can I say this? There's a lot of spiritual teachers, spiritual students pretending to be at peace. It becomes a role. It becomes kind of acting. We pretend to be peaceful. We pretend to be calm. I'm sure you've met people like this over the years. All of you are obviously sensitive people, intuitive people. When you meet people, it could be anyone. It could be someone on the street. It could be a spiritual teacher. It could be a therapist. It could be anyone. And on the surface, they seem to be very calm, very peaceful, very still, and you just feel it because your nervous system feels it. You feel that underneath the mask of peace, the mask of calm, the mask of stillness, there is a raging volcano of feeling. There is chaos. And that doesn't mean they're bad, it doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means that they're human. And the more we can just drop the mask, stop pretending to be at peace, stop pretending to be enlightened, stop pretending to be calm, stop pretending to be any of these things, and actually just embrace how alive we are. This is what meditation, this is what true meditation is really about. Meditation is nothing to do with getting into some altered state or some transcendent state or becoming enlightened. All of that is just fantasy. That's just the mind's fantasy of meditation. True meditation, this is what I've discovered for myself. This is what I've been teaching for many years now. True meditation just simply means remembering that you are alive. That's what meditation is. Remembering that you are alive. Everyone on this planet right now, everyone who is alive on this planet right now is alive. I mean, it seems, it's a silly thing to say, but how many people on this planet really in this moment know they are alive? That's what meditation is about. We remember that we are alive. We bring our attention back into the present moment. We stop sleepwalking through life. We stop sleepwalking through the present moment. We come back to the gorgeous simplicity of a moment. We feel our feet on the ground. We remember we have feet. Begin to melt the dissociation, the forgetting. We feel our bum in contact with the chair. We notice our breath rising and falling. And for the mind, sometimes like meditation can seem really boring. I hear that a lot from people. Jeff, that sounds really boring. that sounds really boring. Just stopping and noticing. And of course, for the mind, it is boring. It's boring for the mind. Or rather, it's boring for that part of us that is an addict. Meditation is really boring. That part of us that wants a distraction. I don't just want to sit here. I want to go and do that and that and that and that and that. All the millions of things I could be doing right now. Shopping, eating, sex, checking social media, doing that, blah, 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 blah. All the distractions. Meditation says, hey, just for a moment, experiment with doing nothing. See what that feels like. Oh, so if that feels really uncomfortable, that's brilliant. Can we open to that discomfort? There may be gold. There may be gold in the discomfort. There may be gold in the boredom. There may be gold in the anxiety. There may be gold in the restlessness. There may be gold in the seeming lack of peace, the non-peaceful parts. Let's not try and eradicate those parts and try and get to this other state called peace. What if, here's the paradox, what if the non-peaceful parts that are alive in you right now are actually misunderstood doorways, portals to a deeper peace, invitations back to the ocean? What if these are just parts of you? The part of you right now that's bored or anxious or restless, or that part of you right now that feels like resistance, that that burning, yearning desire in the belly, in the chest, that part of you that your mind is telling you, this is wrong, I shouldn't be feeling this, this isn't spiritual, this isn't peaceful. What if for a moment we put all those concepts and conclusions to one side and dared to slow down and meet those parts with curiosity, with love, with presence? They may just be calling us back home to the ocean. Let's if you, yeah, should we do a little meditation together, if you don't mind? I know I think I promised that in the blurb. Yeah, should we do that? I'll try not to make it go on for too long. Because I can sit here, and here's the thing, I can sit here and talk about peace and the peace paradox for 24 hours. I can talk about meditation for 24 hours, talk about all these things, presence, awareness, but in the end, it's something you have to discover for yourself, feel for yourself, experience for yourself. So all the talking in the world, it's, it can be really helpful, but in the end, we have to dive in ourselves. We have to dive into the unknown. We have to dive into the mystery of who we are, find the answers within us. I'm not here to give you answers. Those would be secondhand answers. I don't want to give you secondhand answers. I had to find all the answers for myself. So meditation means diving into the mystery. Let's dive in together, alone and together. So no special position you have to be in. Just get really comfortable wherever you are. Some people like to meditate with their feet flat on the ground. Some people like to just rest their hands, their arms on their legs. Some people like to sit up straight in a chair, like that, your lower back supported, touching it. Anyway, look, I don't want to tell you how to meditate. I don't want to say this is the correct position to be in. There's no correct position to be in. You find your own way, find your own position, a position that's comfortable for you. And when you're ready, if you feel comfortable, you can just gently allow your eyes to close. And the simple instruction for this meditation is to do absolutely nothing. And see what that feels like. What's the experience for you of doing nothing? In this meditation, we're not trying to get anywhere. And we're not trying to have any special experience. We're not trying to reach some other state called peace or called enlightenment. We're not even making relaxation into a goal. We're even taking away that awful pressure to be relaxed. So just let yourself really arrive here in the present moment. So rarely do we just let ourselves arrive where we are. It seems like we're always trying to get somewhere else, be something else, do something else. Just let yourself really arrive here on the chair or wherever you are. Just letting all the busyness, the drama, the noise of the past few hours, this past day, this past week, just let all that noise just recede into the background and invite this present moment into the foreground of your experience. What's it like to be you, here, now? So we begin at the beginning, and every moment is a beginning, and you can just begin by feeling your feet in contact with the ground. Just noticing the places where your body touches the chair or the sofa or wherever you are, those sensations of contact. Just noticing what it feels like to have clothes on your body. Noticing the places where the fabric of your clothes touches your skin, what that feels like. Just letting your shoulders drop a little bit. Inviting your jaw to unclench and drop. Just letting your arms be heavy. Letting your legs be heavy. Let your whole body be as heavy as it wants to be. Just feel that heaviness, that weight of the body. That weight is the gentle pull of gravity. Weight is what gravity feels like. That's the earth pulling your body, every cell, every atom, every bone, every muscle, pulling the body down towards itself. That's the earth calling your body back to itself. So just letting yourself sink into that gentle holding of the earth. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Can you just let yourself be here? Give yourself this sacred break from chasing, from seeking, from improving, from trying to work everything out. Just let yourself sink a little deeper into the mystery. Just notice what your breathing is like right now. Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Just noticing those rising and falling sensations of the belly. Just spend a few moments being present with the breath as it rises and falls all by itself. Nothing you have to do, nothing you have to understand. Notice how the body is breathing all by itself. Just softening around the breath. Just inviting any sense of controlling the breath or forcing the breath or holding the breath. Just inviting all of that to soften. Just let the body breathe. Let yourself be breathed. Let the earth breathe you. And you can always use the breath as an anchor to the present moment. If you found the breath, then you found the present moment. Breathing only happens in presence. It doesn't happen in the past or the future. So use your breath to anchor you in the present moment, in the earth. And if in meditation you notice yourself becoming distracted, if you notice your attention wandering off into the past, into the future, wandering off into a fantasy, into a story, it's not a problem. It's not a mistake. It doesn't mean that you've done meditation wrong. It doesn't mean you're failing. Distraction is just something that happens here. It's as natural as breathing. So you could just notice that you've become distracted and just gently bring yourself back to this brand new breath, this brand new moment. We're always beginning again. Every moment is a new beginning. So even if you become distracted 100 times, 1,000 times, it doesn't matter. Each distraction is an invitation to awaken. So just noticing the sounds around you. What can you hear? Sound is a wonderful way to reconnect with the present moment. Just noticing what your mind is doing right now. Is your mind busy? Is it noisy? Are there lots of voices clamoring for your attention? Memories, images, fantasies? Is the mind active? Or is the mind more quiet right now? So we're not trying to control the mind. We're not trying to silence the mind. We're not trying to get rid of thoughts. We're not trying to stop the mind. If the mind is noisy, if the mind is busy, can you let it? Let it be busy. If it's quiet, let it be quiet. Just see the mind as so many waves coming and going in a vast ocean. Thoughts, voices in the head, images, they're all just waves coming and going moment by moment. Sometimes the waves are noisy, sometimes they're intense. But the invitation here is to remember the ocean. You are the vast ocean, the wide open space in which all of these waves, all of these thoughts, the intense thoughts, the dark thoughts, the noisy thoughts, judgments, images, coming and going moment by moment. They are all allowed. They're all the waves. They're allowed to come and go, allowing the waves to come and go, remembering the ocean. Meditation simply means remembering that you are the ocean, the wide open space in which all of this is happening. Even a noisy mind is so welcome in this space. The mind has permission to be noisy in this space. The waves have permission to be here. This is your power. This is your peace. The permission. You are the permission. The ocean is the permission. All these thoughts to come and go moment by moment. And finally, we can just drop down into the body. Just let your attention drop down, wash down like liquid into the body. Just illuminating what's alive in your system right now. What wants to be met, what wants to be seen, what wants to be felt, what's hiding there in the darkness, what wants to be illuminated, met with love. Maybe right now you're feeling a tiredness in the body. Maybe there's a grief that you're sitting with. Maybe there's anxiety in the body. Maybe there's a sense of joy, excitement. Maybe some of you are sitting with a sense of loneliness or numbness. Maybe some of you are sitting with an anger, a resistance. Maybe some of you are feeling very connected right now, heart open. Maybe for some of you, there's a feeling of disconnection, a closed heart. There is so much space in this meditation for any energy that wants to arise in you. This is a field beyond judgment. So whatever is arising in you right now, whatever's alive in your system, just for a moment, let's not try and fix it, get rid of it, try and make it go away. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's intense. Can we allow what's here? And if we can't, can we allow that? Can we allow our non-allowing? Can we allow our resistance? Even that's just a wave. It's a wave. Even resistance, even the most intense resistance is just a wave within us that wants to be included. It wants to be loved. Even if there's a part of you right now, and this is very common, even if there's a part of you right now that wants to escape, you know, that part of you, that restless part of you, that, call it the seeker, call it the addict, call it fear. It's that part of you that wants to run away. It's that part of you that wants to escape the present moment. That part of you that wants to be somewhere else right now, wants to be having some other experience. That part of you that doesn't want to be here, doesn't want your experience to be as it is, wants a different experience. A part of you that wants some other state, wants to be in some other state called peace, called enlightenment, even relaxation. Will turn anything into a goal. That part of you that wants to be somewhere else, doing something else, with someone else, wants to be in some other body, some other realm, some other life, some other moment. Even that part of you is welcome here. It's a wave, and you are the ocean. So we don't have to get rid of that part. This is the great paradox of peace. We don't have to get rid of that part that seems as though it's not peaceful. We don't have to fight it. We don't have to kill it. We don't have to run from it. We don't have to judge it. Even that part of you, that restless one, the seeker, is welcome here. Can you allow it? Can you breathe into it? Can you soften around it? Maybe that's just a part of you that is longing for some love, for some breath, for some attention, for some understanding, longing to be welcomed back into the ocean, longing to be seen, not as a mistake. We so easily see parts of us as a mistake, especially when we become spiritual people. We start to see parts of us as unspiritual. That's just another dream. Every wave in the ocean is welcome. This is the deeper meaning of non-duality. Every wave in the ocean is welcome, even this restlessness, or this sorrow, or this doubt, or this fear. Maybe this is just a part of you that feels homeless and longs for a home. Will you give it a home? Will you let it know that it's welcome here, it's allowed to be here, there's enough space? Can you remember that you are the space, you are the capacity, you are the ocean? And this is one of your beloved waves, maybe one of your misunderstood waves, but one of your beloved waves coming home. Even a wave that doesn't feel like it's at peace. Can we, here's the great invitation, can we be at peace with the part of us that's not at peace? Can we rest with a part of us that feels restless? Can we be present with the part of us that feels like it wants to run away? Can we be present with our own lack of presence? This is the great healing paradox of meditation. Can we open to the part of us that doesn't want to open? Can we allow the part of us that doesn't want to allow? Can we accept the part of us that feels non-accepting? So as the breath rises and falls, sounds come and go, thoughts come and go moment by moment, sensations come and go in the body, feelings in the body come and go, boredom, excitement, distraction. Moment by moment, all these waves of experience, coming and going, appearing, staying for a while, disappearing. Can we let ourselves just rest here as the ocean, as the wide open space for all of it? You can let go of trying to meditate. You can let go of trying to be present. trying to allow, trying to be peaceful, trying to relax. Can even let go of the meditation itself and just let yourself rest wherever you are. Let yourself sink a little bit more deeply into the chair, into the sofa, the bed, wherever you are. Just let yourself be held by the chair, by the ground, by the earth, held exactly as you are. Whether you feel tired or energized, connected, disconnected, bored, excited, full of feeling or numb, whether you feel broken or whole, enlightened, unenlightened, present, not present, it doesn't matter. Not on the deepest level, anyway. Can you just let yourself be held by the earth, the mountains, the oceans, the forests, by the universe itself? Nothing to do, nowhere to go, no other state to chase. And if during this meditation you've touched within yourself a place that feels safe, that feels present, that feels soft, expansive, restful, see if you can keep some of your awareness rooted there, deep within yourself, as you slowly, slowly begin to open your eyes and come back into the room or wherever you are. And you can have a little stretch if you'd like. And if you'd like, you can just spontaneously let out a sound, any sound that just expresses your experience. Ah. It's always hard to speak after these meditations, but I'll try. How was that meditation for you? Um, I would love to hear, yeah, I'd love to hear how that meditation was for you. Anything that you discovered within yourself, anything that you were able to meet a little bit more deeply. I see a lot of, I don't know why, but there's a lot of hearts exploding on my screen, which is lovely. It's just an explosion of hearts. I've never seen that before, but that's yeah, can't say no to that. It's lovely. Yeah, I'd love it if you could share that. You could go into the chat box and share that with me, with all the lovely people on this call. If you have any questions for me, obviously this is a short webinar, so I'm only going to be able to get to a couple, but I will read the chat log after the call, so I'll be able to see what you shared. Um, so yeah, I hope that meditation and the talk before it helped you kind of understand there is this deeper peace. It's not the peace of the mind. It's not what we often imagine when we think of peace. Often when we think of inner peace or inner calm, what we're really thinking about is an ocean with no waves. That's what I used to imagine peace was. I used to meditate. This was many years. I used to meditate for hours and hours every day, thinking that one day I'm going to get to this perfectly calm ocean, and I'm going to be this perfectly calm spiritual person. I'm never going to have negative thoughts. I'm never going to have doubts. I'm definitely never going to feel anger, because anger is a big no-no if you're a spiritual person. There's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of violence, actually. Ironically, there's a lot of violence against anger. Anger is a healthy emotion. Fear is a healthy emotion. Sorrow is a healthy emotion. Once we can really understand that these emotions are just waves that want to move through us. It's not about fixing them or stopping them or getting rid of them or numbing ourselves to them. It's about letting them move through, remembering our capacity. I'll tell this story quickly. You may have heard me tell this story before, but I think it's a really great illustration of this principle at work, like in the mud of daily life. Yeah, apologies if you've heard me tell this before. So many years ago, when my dad, it was a couple of years before my dad passed away. He had Alzheimer's. He was like in the middle stages of Alzheimer's. He was in his early 80s at that point, I think, and there was a period where I was caring for him before he went into a care home. And I'll never forget this experience. It was in a way, it was a very spiritual experience. It was one of the most spiritual experiences of my life, right? The gold is really in the mud, in the muck and mud of daily life. I really believe that. That's where the Buddha shines through. And in this particular story, that the Buddha, for me, appeared in the form of a feeling of deep disgust. It was quite shocking. I think it was I was, if any of you have had experience caring for elderly relatives or children or anyone really, I think you'll understand. I was extremely tired. I'd missed many nights of sleep, and I think it was like 2 a.m. My dad just wouldn't go to sleep, and he I can't remember the exact circumstances, but basically I was in a very vulnerable state, very, very tired. And I can't remember what my dad did, but I remember suddenly there was this wave, and it was a surprise to me. There was this wave of deep disgust. And it was like, there was a smell coming off of him, and I think he was like dribbling, and suddenly this wave, this profound wave, it was somatic, it was physical, of disgust. And I remember back then there was a part of me that was like, oh my God, I shouldn't be feeling this. Like, this isn't this isn't spiritual. This isn't spiritual. I'm supposed to be compassionate and loving and all embracing and all compassionate and complete. Like, this feeling of disgust doesn't belong in my reality. And I realized what I realized in that moment, that was the conditioning, that was the spiritual conditioning, the spiritual brainwashing. That was the fear, actually. Because what I realized in that moment was the truth was that disgust was just this absolutely beautiful, sacred wave. It was as sacred as the most profound joy or bliss or ecstasy. It was as spiritual as any of those feelings, because it was as full of life as any of those feelings. And what I realized in that moment was this feeling of disgust was actually my guru. It was my teacher. It was my Buddha. It wasn't a mistake. It didn't mean there was something wrong with me. It didn't mean I wasn't awakened or enlightened. It didn't mean I wasn't spiritual. That was all just fear. That was all just brainwashing nonsense. It was a beautiful expression of life. And I knew in that moment it was my job to be fully present. I need to be as present as I can be with this feeling of disgust. Otherwise, I'm going to become violent. And what I also saw in that moment was this kind of ancestral trauma. What I realized was, oh my God, like every time this feeling of disgust has arisen in my family line, when to my father, my grandfather, going generations, no one's been able to meet this. Everyone's turned from this feeling. They've pushed it away. They've reacted to it. They've lashed out. They've blamed, shamed, attacked. You're disgusting. You're disgusting. And I'm not going to do it. I realized, oh my God, it's my job to break this cycle of violence. It's my job, it's my duty actually, to turn towards my deepest inner experience, even if it's painful, even if it's non-peaceful. Because of course this didn't match my image of peace. I want to be the peace, I want to be the peaceful son, the peaceful spiritual whatever. So that kind of peace is actually violent, because what that kind of peace does is peace, go away, disgust, get out. It's that whack-a-mole. You don't fit. F off. I'm trying to be peaceful here. I'm trying to be the perfectly peaceful son. I'm trying to be compassionate. I'm trying to be all the things. But actually what I realize now is that feeling of disgust, that wave, and it very much, these feelings very much come as waves, don't they? That wave of disgust was my most profound spiritual teacher in that moment. It was trying to wake me up. It was trying to shatter my old narrow concept of peace, false peace, and wake me up to a deeper kind of peace, which included, this was the paradox, included a wave of disgust. So the more I was able to just slow down and breathe into that feeling and open my heart to it and be present with it and allow it and not run from it and not distract myself, and just give it love. Yes. I knew my job was to say yes to this disgust. Yes. Even if there was an old part of me that wanted to run away from it because it was so intense and uncomfortable. But then even to allow that, to allow all of it, to allow all of these waves, to break that chain, break that ancestral cycle of violence, of men in my family line who were unable to stay with their feelings, who took their feelings out, who acted out. That part of me that wanted to lash out. You're disgusting. Blame and shame and punish, or myself, or blame and shame and punish myself for having a feeling. So the answer lay right in the middle, in the wonderful paradox of peace. Breathing into that disgust, opening to it, making room for it, remembering that I am the vastness, I am the ocean. And this wave, the disgusted one, is so welcome in my vastness. It's a wave. It's not a mistake. It's not something I have to get rid of. And that's when I discovered this deeper sense of peace. What a paradox! This deep, ancient peace that actually, in which there is so much room for a wave of disgust. And that's how, in that moment, disgust became my teacher, and actually, my dad became my teacher. And I was able to just be with that feeling and breathe into it, and then it came, and it was very, very intense, just like a wave. It reached a peak, and then it passed. So I was building my capacity. I was building this presence muscle, and this is what meditation is amazing for. When these waves arise, thoughts, sensations, feelings, when uncomfortable, painful parts arise in us, We don't have to run away from them. We don't have to numb them. We don't have to attack them. We don't have to whack-a-mole them. But at the same time, we don't have to act them out, take them out on someone. We can stay right in the middle, the sacred middle. And that's how we find the peace in the non-peaceful places. The deep acceptance for that part of us that doesn't feel very accepting. Here's the ultimate paradox, really, right? If you can really get this, it changes everything. You can be fully present with the part of you that wants to run away. You can be fully present with the part of you that doesn't want to be present. You can be fully present with the part of you that isn't present. You can be fully present with your non-presence. That is an infinitely deeper presence than the mind's version of presence, which is very dualistic. Either I'm present or I'm not. Either I'm peaceful or I'm not. Either I'm this or that, or this or that. That's dualistic thinking. It just splits us in two. Why not be all of it? Why not hold all of it? Why not be so vast that you can let all of it move through you? So that's I really have to thank my dad in that moment for doing that fart or whatever it was. I think it was diarrhea, actually, because it triggered in me this part of me that desperately wanted to be met. It wanted to come home. And so in that moment, my dad didn't become my enemy. It was a wonderful invitation from life, because life in its infinite compassion gives us these moments, right? Gives us these triggers, these moments when we feel completely triggered, and a part of us wants to shut down or numb it out or go and eat something or just attack, shame, blame someone else or ourselves, and just carry on that ancestral trauma. And this is why meditation is so important, I think, because it asks us to, oh, 1 second, just stop, breathe, notice, feel, allow, open, even open to the part of you that doesn't want to open. And maybe that's the most important. Maybe if you take away one thing from this webinar, what a funny word webinar is. I don't even know what that means. I don't know why I call it a webinar, but it's yeah, to be present with the part of you that doesn't want to be present or doesn't know how to be present or actively wants to run away from presence. That part of you needs so much love, like it's come to you in that moment for love. It's desperate for love. Don't rush, don't rush to, but I should be peaceful. Do you see how that just becomes violent? But I should be peaceful. Go away, I'm trying to be peaceful. You see, if I had done that, I would have gone to war with my dad, myself, and I would have missed the gold. In seeking peace, I would have missed the gold contained within the part of me that wasn't at peace. So sometimes it's really, 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 really important to allow yourself to not be at peace. And that's what I wish so many spiritual students and spiritual teachers, by the way, would understand. The shadow contains so much gold, so much intelligence, so much healing power. Otherwise, we just become fake peace. It's like, hello, I am so peaceful, so lovely to meet you. And you just know that that's a very temporary peace. Peace is the capacity. Peace, true inner peace, allows us to not be at peace. It's such a paradox. I don't even know what the time is. I've completely lost track of time. Oh my goodness. This webinar has gone on much longer than I thought it would. Let me just quickly, I will take one question, and let me just quickly remind you of, yeah, so if you enjoyed this webinar, if it was helpful in some way, inspiring in some way, relaxing in some way, ironically, peaceful, peaceful in some way, Yeah, you may be interested in my course that starts next week. Opening the channel, unlocking the life you were born to live. I remembered that. It's a 6-week course. We'll be diving into all these topics. I'll be talking about creativity, about the root of creativity, about how the blocks within ourselves may just be portals, doorways. Everything we reject in ourselves, everything we hate within ourselves may just be the ocean calling us home, and how that relates to creativity, and what true creativity is. I'll be sharing my own poetry. I'll be reading out some of my favorite poetry. We'll be doing these meditations together, questions and answers, and all kinds of lovely stuff. It starts very soon, and the link should be somewhere in the chat box, or you'll get an email about it. But I'd love to see some of you there. Yeah, well, I hope this session was helpful in some way. I'd love to go on for longer. Colorado carrot cake. I'm not sure why I'm seeing that. Oh yeah, I need to scroll down. Yeah, thank you for all your lovely comments. Dorothy says, writing these things out as I hear them, taking notes that I will let go, but something happens in the writing, and then maybe you get something out of reading. Much love. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you, Dorothy. Dortha. Sorry, I'm not very good at pronouncing names. Yes, there will be a replay. If you're watching this now, then you will be sent an email with a link to the replay. So please don't feel any pressure to wait, but you are already watching this live now. So anyway, just don't feel any pressure either way. What day? Oh, so the course starts on Friday the 10th. So it starts, depending on when you're watching this, it starts soon. Jeff, it was heavenly. Thank you, Alex. The heavenliness is inside of you. Dorothy again says, yes, it's so important to allow ourselves to not be peaceful. True inner peace allows us to not be at peace. God, if there was just one thing that I could teach people, that's it. I mean, that's all for me. That's all of non-duality in a nutshell. That's all of shadow work in a nutshell. That's my entire spiritual journey in a nutshell right there. I mean, we could unpack that for hours and hours and hours on end, but that's the crux of it. If you can really get that, it will really begin to change your life. Kira says, to accept the non-acceptance is beautiful. To accept the distraction also, but the most wonderful was acceptance of trying to be. That's great. Yeah, I am always trying to be, and it's the biggest absurdity. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? All these pressures that we put on ourselves innocently. And sometimes it's very subtle. We don't quite realize that we're doing it until it gets exposed. Sometimes in sessions like this, we shine light on all these little games we play with ourselves, you know, the pressures we put on ourselves, the violence that we do to ourselves without realizing it, sometimes in the name of peace, in the name of being spiritual. Yeah, even as you say, Kira, you say you're always trying to be. I need to be, right? I mean, I spent years doing that. I need to be. I need to just be. I need to just be. I need to just be present. I should be present. I need to be in the moment. That's like a big one, isn't it, these days? You know, Eckhart Tolle. I need to be in the now. I need to be in the moment. I need to be embodied. Even that. I need to be embodied. I need to be embodied. We will turn, bless our hearts, the mind will turn just anything into a goal. Something to do. Something I need to be. I need to just be. I need to just be. I'm trying very hard to just be. Oh, what's wrong with me? I'm not just being. Oh, why am I not just being? And then we see it, you know, and then we suddenly there's like that moment of awakening. Oh my God, I see it. I've been trying to do this thing. I even turned being into a doing. In my innocence, I turned being in the moment into a goal. And then we see it. We awaken to it. And then there can be so much laughter. There can be so much relief. There can be tears. There can be grief sometimes. You know, I think a big part of the healing process or awakening process, whatever you want to call it, is grieving. We grieve all our old dreams, our old beliefs. I know I went through a big period of grieving. Oh my God, like so many years I spent doing this thing. What was I doing? So many years trying to become enlightened or trying to be trying to kill the ego or transcend the self or get into some altered state. Oh my, what was I doing? It was all like an addiction. It's like we are getting sober, you know? It's like we're going into detox. And there can be tears with that. There can be grief. And in that grieving, there can be a regrounding. Grief has a wonderful way of grounding us back into the present moment, bringing us back to the earth, back to our bodies, back to the simplicity, back to sitting on a chair, breathing. That's where it began, where it all began. And it's where it ends, the present moment, sitting on a chair, breathing. Oh my God, where was I? Where was I trying to get to? What was I trying to prove? Who was I trying to prove it to? So there can be laughter with that. There can be tears with that. You know, I've been leading these retreats for so many years. I haven't done that many in recent years, but you know, there's a lot of laughter in these retreats. There's a lot of tears when participants just realize, oh my God, what have I been chasing? You know, it can be very humbling, very humbling. So yeah, even you can even let go of that trying to be, I must be in the moment. I must be present. Even meditation can be very stressful. Some forms of meditation, very stressful, very disembodying, very, very violent. And this isn't to judge any form of meditation, you know, but in the end, I think if we're talking about true meditation, then we're talking about presence. We're talking about simple presence. We're talking about the simplicity of remembering the ocean of presence, which is always here. It's not a state. It's not something you have to achieve. It's not a higher state. So many spiritual people that I meet are chasing some higher state. Bless their hearts, you know, like we just, it's like anything but anything but this, you know, anything but being with myself. Just no one taught us. No one taught us how to just be with ourselves, to be with our joy, to be with our pain, to be with our sorrow, to be with our discomfort, to be with the part of us that doesn't want to be with, to be present with the part of me that doesn't want to be present. That's wow. I mean, that unlocks everything. That's the gold. We'll talk more about that in the course, you know. And also I have this monthly membership if any of you are interested. Jeff, if you go to jefffosteronline.com, we have live sessions twice a month. There's also that. This is all the stuff we explore. Cheryl says, I felt that by, this is lovely. I'm a quick reader, by the way. I felt that by giving myself permission to allow the thoughts and feelings in rather than resisting them took the pressure off meditating the right way, and therefore I experienced a feeling of calm and aliveness. Yes, Cheryl, that's it. I wish, yeah, that's it. I wish everyone who meditates, I wish everyone could hear that. That's it. That's you know, that's the secret. There is so much relief. So much relief. I'll say that again. I'll repeat your comment because it's wonderful. I felt that by giving myself permission to allow the thoughts and feelings in rather than resisting them took the pressure off meditating, which is really the pressure off yourself. Pressure off meditating the right way. And therefore, I experienced a feeling of calm and aliveness. There's the paradox. You stop seeking calm. You stop trying to force your thoughts to be calm. You stop trying to relax your mind. You kind of go the other way. You say, mind, be noisy. I give you permission. There's your power. You stop saying to the body, calm down, calm down. You stop telling feelings and sensations and urges and impulses. You stop doing the whack-a-mole. You stop saying, calm down, relax, relax, relax. It's the most stressful thing in the world, is to try and relax. So you go the other way. It's the paradox. You actually invite the restlessness. You invite the lack of relaxation. And that's when you start to discover a deeper sense of relief, which is this permission to be wonderfully, uniquely, authentically, imperfectly you, messy, alive, full of feeling. That's the most spiritual thing of all, is to embrace your wonderful, sensitive, imperfect, messy humanity. You know, that's why I don't even know what the word spiritual means anymore, because I don't separate the spiritual from the material. I don't separate the spiritual from the body. The nervous system is deeply, deeply, deeply spiritual. I mean, it's like billions of years old. How could it not be spiritual? So those divisions don't really make sense to me anymore. That's why, you know, some people call me a spiritual teacher. I don't know what that means, but you know, I'm just a human being who's been through stuff, been through a lot of suffering and spiritual seeking, and you know, I'm here to just share my experience and what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and some of these insights that have you know have helped me and saved my life actually. And yeah, and if you resonate with them, beautiful, and if you don't, you know, I bow to you. Anyway, I think I'm going to have to go. Look at these lovely. I'll be reading these comments. Susan says, let's finish with Susan. Actually, and I'll read this, and I'll do one little poem. This delicious awareness that we are vast enough to hold all of it. It's not a contradiction that we can feel grief and joy simultaneously. Beautiful. It's evidence of our expansive nature. And that, for me, calls off the war. Love you, Jeff. See you next Friday. Love doing life with you, my friend. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Susan. I love that comment. It's not a contradiction that we can feel grief and joy simultaneously. It's evidence of our expansive nature. And that calls off the war. That calls off the inner war. That is the peace paradox. So forget being at peace. Forget it. And if I know, and again, that without context, that can sound crazy. Huh? What? I thought this was all about finding inner peace and inner calm, and yeah, but there's a paradox there. You let go of the image, you let go of the destination, you let go of the seeking, and you dive into your present experience. You drench your present experience, however uncomfortable, however painful, however messy. You drench it with merciful awareness. You find that deep inner permission, that deep permission to be exactly what you are in the moment. You discover that ocean. Call it whatever you want. Call it God, call it being, call it life, call it the beloved. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's not an it. It doesn't matter what you call it. I'll finish with a poem. Well, I'm not sure it's a poem. It's just something that poured out of me. I don't know what to. I have three of them. Which one should I choose? One, two, or three? Let's do two. This is relevant. Break the karmic cycle. When sadness or fear, anger or loneliness, shame or disgust surge through your nervous system, do not believe for an instant that something is wrong with you. Instead, be honored that these ancient friends have chosen to visit you. They have come not to hurt you, but to heal you, to help you remember your wholeness, your vastness, your capacity for all of life. You alone have the courage to feel these feelings, to let them pass through to completion. Bless them with attention and curiosity. Will you turn towards these inner children now? Will you open your arms to the helpless ones inside? Will you drench the sorrow, the fear, the loneliness, and rage you feel with love? Will you break the karmic cycle with your breath? Will you break the karmic cycle with your breath? Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you for coming to this session. I hope it was helpful to you somehow. Thank you for your lovely comments. Thank you for your listening. I will. Thank you. Just reading your comments. Thank you so much. Yes, there will be a replay. There absolutely will. It will be sent to you. Thank you, Lynn. This is marvelously powerful. Thank you. The power is in you, is in all of you. Yeah, I will be doing one of these free sessions again one of these days for sure. Yeah, if you are interested in the course, it starts soon. Opening the channel. Would love to see you there. You'll be getting an email about that. And yeah, that's it. That was the peace paradox. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessings to you all. Just what I needed. Oh, that's beautiful, Julie. Just what you needed. Oh, thank you, Marshall. Oh, sending love to all of you. Thank you so much thank you for letting me into your homes, into your hearts. After all these years, you know, I can't believe it's what, 20, I've been doing this, I think, for 20, coming up to 20 years now. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm just so grateful that you guys still show up and you're still interested. And you know, it's a real privilege to just be able to share with you the way I share and share these insights. Yeah, I hope they've touched you somehow, or been helpful somehow, or given you something to think about, or planted like a little seed. Sometimes I just think I'm planting little seeds, even if what I'm saying right now doesn't make sense, or just feels distant or alien or unreachable. You know, maybe I've just planted a little seed, and it will just take a bit of time for that seed to sprout, to blossom, yeah. Lots of love. Thank you so much, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.